Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. Totally. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. I am Fonrath, and welcome back to Monster. This time, episode 5. Last time, a lot of things happened. We were told that,
The monster's coming.
That's right.
Monsters
Coming.
The monsters
Coming. Coming.
The monsters
Coming.
Oh my god, he is. And he did.
Here I come! Here I come!
And indeed, the monster did come.
We have come.
Apparently, right? Johan, the child that lived, the boy who lived, is the monster. However, some things don't add up. Like the fact that, well, who was the monster before the boy? Because the boy got shot, the girl did not. Could assume that maybe if the boy was the monster from the beginning, killed the parents, and then maybe the girl shot him, where'd the gun go? Right? I don't think the girl would have been in any position mentally to get rid of the gun. So I don't know. Not to mention, I was also questioning last episode if the boy was always the monster, then poison candy? Like, how, You're telling me that this boy can create poison candy when he's like 10 years old? No. So I'm thinking there was a original monster, and then the boy took over. The main question, I guess, that I opened up was, is there an original monster? This is what I wrote down. But I'm sure maybe, hopefully this will be explained later on. I mean, I guess with that said, we shall start episode 5.
Now, class, I want you to tell me what was the basis for the ruling the judge made in regards to the 1968 Stuttgart case.
Stuttgart.
Boy, oh boy, what is this silence? Are we some kind of a monastery?
Man, all these old men in this show
Mr. Reimer,
look so
I'd like to hear your answer
old.
if you have one.
Well, sir, that is to say,
Anyone? Is there anyone in this room who can break this silence?
Who is this girl? I'm guessing that's the sister, no? Blonde, young-ish.
So the chronic latecomer is here at last. You're 13 minutes tardy. Seems your part-time pizza delivery job kept you awfully busy today.
I'm sorry, Professor Kronecker.
Well, let me ask you a question before you sit down. Do you have enough strength left to tell me the basis for the ruling in the 1968 Stuttgart case?
Oh yes. Well, the defense claimed that the kidnapping was a sham, and that the victim's death had been due to poisoning. After an investigation into the crime scene, it was found that the victim's death had been accidental, and that there was no motive. So, since the crime couldn't be proven to be an intentional murder, I believe a sentence of 15 years was handed down.
Very good. You can take your seat, Nina Fortner.
Nina, eh? It's definitely the girl, 100%, right? I don't think we got her name previously, did we? I don't remember, but she's obviously an important character, so I'm gonna... Nina something. Nina... Fortner? Forty something? No. Heidelberg?
Wow, good job.
Wait, no,
Nina.
that's the location, chapter 5. The
If
girl
nobody
of
had been able to
Heidelberg.
Give him the answer. I have no doubt that Kronecker would have probably demanded we write a 50-page report.
50 pages if we were lucky.
I'll have to treat our savior Nina to something to eat. What do you say, Nina? A nice meal, just the two of us?
Oh, I'm sorry, Peter, but I have a club meeting today. Well, bye.
She turned you down again. Hey, Peter, how many times was that?
Come on, shut up. As if one of you losers could actually score a date with her.
Seems she's pretty popular. Oh, she does some judo. Is that judo? It looks like judo.
Thank you.
A lot of, you know, throws and
Oh
stuff.
my gosh. If I'm late with my deliveries, the manager's gonna be furious.
Oh my gosh.
Hi, I'm home. Boy, am I hungry.
Oh my, the neighbors can probably hear you. You are such a child. Go and wash your hands, dear.
Yes, ma'am.
If she is the child, I mean, she disappeared. Both the children disappeared. How did, you know, how did she, like, get free? Or, like, yeah, we don't know what happened. That's the thing. Did someone take them? If so, did they let the girl go? How did the girl end up in this situation? I mean, yeah, it is 10 years later, but, like, still, you know, like, how, what happened?
Hey, Mom, you dyed your hair.
What do you think?
Mom, eh?
At your age, I don't think you should be dyeing your hair such a bright color.
I don't agree.
Maybe she doesn't remember? She did have some pretty heavy, mental trauma.
With you, Dad. I think Mom looks great.
If she
Looks
is the
like
same
you're going to
person,
some
which I think
costume
she is.
parade.
It's nice to know Mom is still young. Right? Hi, Dad.
Also, let me, this is kind of pissing me off. Okay, that's a little better.
Oh, and that reminds me, speaking of costumes, I saw some kids dressed up from head to toe today.
Oh yes, today's supposed to be the St. Hadrian costume parade.
Oh, I
The what
wish
now?
I had dressed up like that when I was a little girl. They were so adorable.
Huh? Yeah, you did dress up in a costume once. Isn't that right, dear?
Yeah, that's right. I completely
Right. Okay, so it seems like they don't, or it seems like she doesn't remember, I'm guessing. I'm guessing that's what they're hinting at. It's that they're kind of now lying, because she believes that she's always been their daughter. So now they're like kind of lying, saying, "Oh yeah, you dressed up when you were little. Yeah, sure, of course. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Totally. Yeah. You dressed up. Trust me. Trust me on this. Okay, you dressed up, okay? You trust me. Just trust me.
forgotten.
Really?
Let's see. It's around here.
They supposedly have
here it
baby
is. It
pictures,
was so
but
cute.
yeah, it probably is not her. They probably had like a child that died or something, then they I was gonna say adopted, but automatically said abducted.
Guess I did.
You were so excited and made such a fuss. Isn't that right, dear?
Huh? Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, she's like, that's not me. I wonder how old she is now. Because I don't know how old she was back then.
Parade, huh?
Maybe 8, 10? So now like 18, 20?
I shall send you the most beautiful flowers. I was born to smother you with flowers. That's so beautiful.
That is not
Wow.
beautiful.
wonder-
That is very creepy in my opinion, but okay, to each their own.
Who sent this? Aha. I'm very impressed with you, Peter.
So, how have you been, Nina?
Well, I've been very well lately, Dr. Geidel.
That's good to hear.
Dr. Geidel.
But of course, I could tell just by the look on your face when you came into this session that you were doing well. So, tell me, are you still having that nightmare? The one
I thought about writing his name down, but he looks like a generic background character so far, so...
about the monster emerging from the darkness?
No, I've been sleeping very well. I've been so busy.
Monsters
I don't have time to dream.
coming.
I wonder why I was plagued by such a dream night after night.
It's common for students to feel fear and anxiety. Expectations of the future mix up with other insecurities. People end up confused, losing sight of who they are. But who you are is something you can spend your whole life trying to grasp and never figure out completely. All right, I think that brings us to the end of our session.
Bye, and thank you, Doctor.
I can't help thinking that she's overcompensating or running from something. Something overwhelmingly dark.
Huh?
What do you mean, what? Don't act so innocent.
What in the world are you going on about?
I was born to smother you with flowers? I would never have guessed in a million years you had such talent for writing poetry.
I don't know what you're talking about. I wouldn't be able to come up with frilly stuff like that even if I stood on my head.
Then who was it? I only give my email address to friends and no one else.
Beats me. Damn it. What this means is some suave poetry guy is honing in on my girl.
Oof. You date that guy?
This was a bizarre murder that took place in Munich. After shooting the parents to death, the perpetrator strangled their 2 children with a rope. Grisly, really? Now, I would like you to explain the verdict using the records from all of the hearings. Nina Fortner. What, do you not understand the question?
No. Well, the trial was focused mainly on the cold-blooded murder
Oh?
of an entire family.
Yep, she's having some PTSD, I'm guessing.
The evidence.
Oh, so not even Nina has all the answers, huh? Nina? What's wrong, Nina?
Blackout incoming. Or not.
Are you all right? You want to go see the nurse?
I'm all right.
This guy's this guy's design is so background NPC-ish that I just can't take him seriously. He's usually the cunt douchebag character, you know? You look at his face, you're like, yep, he's the asshole little douchebag.
Dr. Geidel would say, if you get back to the root of it, I think that you'll find it was nothing significant. Now go back to your childhood. Am I right?
That's it. I have no memories.
Huh?
I remember nothing before the age of 10.
Ah, so she's 20 now.
Yes, those two were indeed a very nice couple. To think that they died in such a way. Huh? Children? Oh, now that you mention it, yes, there was a son. His name was Michael, I do believe. He was there for a year or 2.
Let's see, a boy. Do you remember if there was a boy?
Yes, there was. Wasn't his name Michael? He was 14, give or take.
Michael, you say? Yeah, I think I remember him. But why? Who are you, the police?
Yes, Michael Reichman. I remember him vaguely, but he was a student in my classroom.
So is she investigating now?
He didn't leave much of an impression.
Is she trying to like investigate this this murder case because she feels like there's some sort of connection? It makes sense, I suppose, if you're trying to figure out, like, I mean, that's kind of what I would do probably as well if I feel like this event feels so familiar and similar to something that I can't remember. I'd probably investigate it as well, so.
I'm embarrassed to say it, but honestly, I don't remember him very well. I'm not sure if he had any friends. You see, there are no records left from then. Everything went up in a fire about 6 years ago now.
There definitely was a boy named Michael living here in
Oh?
Cologne until 6.
Or it's okay, it's actually Tenma
6 years ago. And
who's
Michael's
investigating.
real name is...
Johan, huh? Yes, there was a time when I went by that name.
Who are you? What does it
So
matter?
he went by Michael.
What's the use? He's a serial killer, the older of twin siblings. That's all there is to it. Nothing else. What am I doing? Twins. His sister. Where did his twin sister go?
I will pick you up very soon. Who is this? He'll be picking me up very soon? But what does that mean?
I mean, what do you think it means? Someone's coming to pick you up. Whether that's in a romantic way or a literal physical way, we don't yet know. We shall find out, I'm sure. Wait. Right. I wasn't paying attention. They were talking about a murder where the parents died and there was apparently 2 children? But the boy was apparently 14 at the time. Which means, most likely, Johan, after disappearing from the hospital, then lived with some other family. I think that's what they were getting at. Lived with some other family, and then those parents also died.
Was a boy about 7 or 8 years ago.
So, Mr. and Mrs. Heine had taken a boy in before they were killed.
Ah,
And
yes.
what was he like?
What was he like? That was quite a long time ago, and I think he only really lived with them for about a year or so. I honestly don't remember anything about him.
Wait, do you remember if this boy had a sister?
No, only the boy. Listen, I just want to forget about what happened to that poor couple. After all those horrible things happened, I almost moved away.
Yeah, it seems like the parents keep dying. I wonder why. Now they're kind of really pushing that fact that it's Johan that is killing the parents. And while I believe that to be the case, you know, I fully believe that, now I still think there was an original. I don't believe he shot himself in the head. Cause where'd the gun go? Where'd the gun go? I think there is some original. I just don't see a little kid, 10-year-old kid, being able to make poison candy. Unless he was reincarnated, isekai'd. But, you know, you're telling me that 10-year-old kid knows how to make poison candy inside a hospital. Okay, sure, bro. There has to be an original. Potentially, he was taken in by the original, and then the original, like, you know, brainwashed him into becoming like a successor.
Remember that boy very well. Why don't you come up? I was about to have some tea. Come in, have a seat.
Yes, thank you.
An old war veteran? Veteran? A vet?
Go ahead, have some tea. You're a doctor, right? That boy was the one who told me. You are Dr. Tenma.
He's blind, isn't he?
He's coming to pick
Or
you
is he?
up?
Who is he? I have no idea who he is. It was...
I mean, his eyes are very, like, clouded, right? Maybe he's blind? The thing is, right, every character that we meet, I am suspecting of being the original monster. Now, bear in mind, I'm going, like, one theory on top of another theory kind of thing. If I'm assuming that there is an original monster, right? With all good, like, crime shows and mystery shows with serial killers and stuff, oftentimes, with good writing, you have the main bad guy, the big villain, the shadowy villain. They're actually introduced quite early on. It's 2 options. Either they are introduced as a main character and then it's revealed that, like, oh my god, this main character was actually the evil villain all along. Or they'll do the more subtle way, which is they'll introduce a bunch of characters kind of early-ish on. Maybe this character will show up multiple times, but kind of as a side character, and then, or maybe they'll just show up once, and then, like, way later down the line, when it's revealed that, oh my god, it was them all along, then you're like, oh, we met them. So I'm thinking a war veteran who has gone blind, potentially like due to an illness, recently, more recently. Maybe he was getting blind. You know, he has knowledge, medical knowledge, maybe from like his time in war or like in the field. You know, he's like, oh shit, I need a successor because I'm getting blind and I'm not going to be able to continue my work anymore. He gets the boy become his successor. Sus. Hella sus.
Dr. Tenma.
He's coming to pick you up?
Who is he? I have no idea who he is. It was just an anonymous email.
Aw, you look so happy. You're not thinking this is Prince Charming on a white charger or a knight in shining armor coming for you, are you?
Why are you jealous? There you go, Nina, daydreaming
Dude.
again.
You know this was like, when was this? When did this come out? Like 2000s something? You know this is like early 2000s, right? Because if this was the case nowadays, girls like this would never act like this, okay? They would be like, what the fuck? I'm being stalked? What the fuck? I mean, even for this time, this would be weird as fuck. If someone knows my email and just randomly messages me, because there's no like social media here. I don't think so. There's just email, right? This is like early 2000s, right? Well, actually it's 2005 here, I think, because 1995, or was it 1995 after the 10-year time skip? Or 9-year time skip? I don't know. It's either 1995 or 2005, or 2004 or something. I don't know. Point is, around that time, there was no real social media, so email, right? But if someone knew my email and started sending me weird, creepy messages about like picking me up, interested, but also weirded out and very, very, very cautious about like who the fuck this person might be.
Said I was born to smother you with flowers. Come on, that's so corny. How many boys do you know who write like that?
Oh.
That's not corny,
on,
that's
wait.
creepy.
There is a new guy in our class. You know who I'm talking about?
Oh, I've seen him. He's the guy who sits quietly in that legendary seat in room 12 where you're bound to be called by the instructor. But strangely enough, he's never called on.
That's right. And you want to know what else? He is always staring at Nina the entire class.
Really?
He's the one.
What do you mean?
Come on,
Dude.
you know.
Prince Charming.
That's not how this works. You just can't just assume some random person sent you messages and then confront them being like, you sent me messages, right? You can't just start assuming someone's doing this randomly with no evidence. It's like how she went to, well, I'm not going to call him her boyfriend. There's no way, right? There's no way, right? There's no way she's dating that guy, right? She just went up to him and assumed that he was the one who sent those, the poetic message.
All I know
Don't
is
assume
that boy was
someone did
extremely
this.
grateful to you. Yes, Dr. Tenma. He told me more than once that because you saved his life, you meant more to him than his parents.
What name did he go by then?
Franz. But he did tell me it wasn't his real name.
If
What
he
name,
opened up
Grunt?
enough to tell you that much, it means he must have really trusted you.
He just showed up one day out of nowhere, really. Mr. and Mrs. Heine, who lived across the hall, took him in. He lived with them for about a year. No, actually it was 14 months to be precise, from March 1987 to April 1988. And then one day, out of the blue, he suddenly vanished.
Okay, so it is 1995 now.
He really was very bright, that boy, and very well-mannered.
Did he visit you in your apartment very often?
Every day. I live alone, so I always welcome the company. He sat in that chair and would spend most of his time studying. He was able to master the English and French that I taught him in no time. By the time he disappeared, he was completely fluent in both languages. He was always interested in listening to my stories. And what kind of stories do you think he liked best? Go on, take a wild guess.
War?
He liked my war stories.
Yep.
War stories?
I'm telling you, this could be the original. This guy could be the original. Visited him like every day. This guy taught him, told him war stories. I mean, probably told him a lot more, you know? How to kill with poison candy, how to shoot a gun, how to, you know, suck a dick.
During World War II, I was on the crew of a U-boat. The boy's favorite story was about the time we were attacked by a destroyer of the Allied forces. But we just kept going. We all waited in terror inside that creaking boat, enduring hour after hour. We had to endure that hell for a day and a half. Any ordinary child would have probably looked at this as another adventure story. But that boy was different. What he was most interested in was my description of ultimate fear. Yes, ultimate fear. That reaction of people on the verge of death fascinated him. That was all he was in.
Who is this voice actor? I'm not gonna lie, sounds very, like, I'm not big into, like, English voice actors and actors, but, like, this voice actor sounds very... I mean, I don't know, maybe it's just the old guy voice, but, like, sounds very similar to, Darth Sidious. Then again, I haven't seen Star Wars, the original, trilogy, in a very long time, so maybe I'm just, like, kind of misremembering, I don't know. But, you know, like, I hear the... Do it. Do it. Do it now. Anyway, what did he say?
People on the verge of death fascinated him. That was all he was interested in. He toyed with fear.
What was the expression on his face as he listened?
He probably had a gleam in his eye and a smile, I imagine.
Imagine?
Well, I cannot see Dr. Tenma. So no, I don't know the boy's real name, nor obviously do I have any idea what he looks like for that matter. Earlier you suggested the boy trusted me because he told me Franz wasn't his real name. I can assure you that he doesn't trust anyone. There's only one person that boy's trusted in his life, and that's his sister.
Listen, I need your help. I'm looking for that sister.
He said he would go get her when she turned 20.
Where is she?
In Heidelberg.
How does he know? Also, how does he... Well, okay. I mean, there's a lot to think about here. How does he know where she is? You know, he could be keeping tabs on him. I mean, they did say that there was a guy in the class who constantly looked at her. Maybe that's maybe he is in the same school, maybe. But why go get her when she turns 20? Like, what does that have to do with anything? Not to mention, how did they separate in the first place? You know, like, what? There's so many, like, questions. I don't even know, like, there's so many questions that are so, like, I can't even think of a possible answer. You know, what happened when they disappeared from the hospital? She clearly, like, had some insane trauma and traumatic, like, mental shit going on, so she completely just suppressed those memories. But how did she, like, get away? How did she end up living with them? If they separated, like... How does Johan know that that she's living here? I mean, I suppose, is it possible that Johan somehow set up this arrangement for her to live with these people? There's so many possible answers.
Be careful on your scooter, honey.
I will. Bye.
And
see you
again,
later, Daddy.
what does it have to? What does being 20 have to do with anything?
See you later.
The time has come, hasn't it?
You see?
I know.
It's like they know. This is what I suspected. Like they were arranged. But like, how? You're telling me again? I'm telling you there has to be an original. There's no way a fucking like 10-year-old kid has this many connections. You know, who the fuck are these two? How are they connected? There has to be an original. There has to be someone like behind the current monster, Johan. You know, there has to be someone there who has connections.
We made an agreement. We said we'd tell her on her 20th birthday that she isn't our real daughter.
Why 20th? Agreement with who and why?
Hold on a second. I'm not sure I can do this.
Don't mess it up. You're about to meet Prince Charming. Later.
Wait, Clara, beate! How could they do this behind my back?
And even, okay, let's say that Johan is like, okay, I'm gonna get back in touch with my sister when she turns 20. Like, what does the 20 have to do with anything? Secondly, why? You care about your sister? You trust your sister? Okay. But like, it doesn't look like she's aware of anything. She's not in the same, like, world as you, Johan. So it's like, why even get her involved? If you really, loved your sister and trusted your sister, you would just keep her away.
It's him!
Here we go.
No, that's not the guy. It's someone else.
How do you do? You're Nina Fortner, right?
Yes.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not...
Oh, hello.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Who are you? I've seen that face somewhere before. Who?
I thought he was coming here to get her. And... bang.
Nina! Nina!
Nina, what's wrong?
Can you hear me?
Wake up! Come on,
Wake
Nina.
up.
Oh,
Please.
what happened?
Come on. Okay, Nina.
Interesting. You know what I think happened? The messages on the email were sent by Johan, but when the other two girls, her friends, Nina's friends, there probably was that guy in that class looking at her because he's interested, right? And so they just assumed that all those messages were sent by that guy. Because again, as I said, like, they just assume a lot. And so they probably just approached the guy saying, hey, Nina will meet you here at this time, and probably didn't say anything about messages or anything. The guy is like, yeah, okay. Old couple. They did say that we promised, or it's almost time, right? Let's see.
The time has come.
The time has come. So I'm guessing either she just became 20 years old or she's going to be 20 like very, very soon. So Johan and these two are preparing to, I guess, remind her where she's from and who she really is. Honestly, I kind of like her. Surprisingly. I don't know, she seems normal. Her immediate like introduction shows that she's capable. She's smart. She works a job, part-time job. She goes to class. She's studious. She's studious. She's smart. Already shows us that she's capable. We also see this where she practices judo, I think. Works a part-time job. She's capable. She does things. She's a go-getter, I guess. Does everything she has to. And then there's these two who apparently made some sort of agreement with the monster to tell her that she was adopted at 20 years old or something. It's weird. Therapist guy seems to also... I don't know if he's going to become a big character, but seems to suspect that there's some underlying darkness. Then there's the boyfriend character, or wannabe boyfriend. This guy wants to be her boyfriend. He has a punchable face. Tenma seems to be investigating Johan. And then finally we come to this guy, a war veteran who is blind. If this guy is potentially, I'm just saying potentially, right? If this guy is the original monster, then things would make sense. Maybe. Maybe this guy killed the original parents, brought him here, had him be adopted by those parents. Meanwhile, he comes up here to this old guy, to the original monster, to learn from him every single day. Learns how to use a gun, potentially, learns how to make poisons, learns how to, I guess, instill fear and life and death and you know, that kind of shit. And then eventually maybe it's like killing the adopted parents is like the test, you know, the final exam. Lo and behold, the new monster has arrived, and then he goes out to continue the work. There has to be an original monster at this point. Like all the clues that I have, this whole show so far has told me that there has to be an original monster. Because again, you're telling me that a 10-year-old came to this old couple and is like, I will leave my sister with you. Treat her as your adopted daughter until she's 20 years old, but then tell her the truth, because I will come for her when she's 20 years old. It's like, you're telling me a 10-year-old is doing all that, saying all that? Like, come on. It just doesn't make sense, right? It makes more sense that there's someone, or at least there was someone, behind Johan as the original monster who taught him and helped him. But yeah, I was honestly kind of surprised that he didn't do anything, which is kind of weird. Just kind of looked at her, made eye contact, smiled, and was like, I'm out, bitch. Badass. Badass. And then she blacked out because of her trauma. Yet another good episode. This show is pretty much exactly the stuff I like. A lot of questions. Nina's parents are connected to the monster? Question mark? I would have said maybe she lives with this adoptive family and then starts like remembering things, right? And then she starts investigating, right? And then slowly Tenma and her kind of both investigating the same person. They run into each other and then they investigate together and so on and so forth. But like it seems like Johan seems to just be approaching her for some reason. I don't know. Because like why separate in the first place? I don't know. There's so many questions. I'm loving this shit. I will see you in episode 6 of The Monster. Later.